So let's begin by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap, right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. Try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning, but we also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. Then we begin to let go of attending to the outside world, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are. No need to investigate. Constraining our awareness just to the body and mind. Concentrating that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation that accompanies the in-breath and the out-breath in the space around the opening of the nostrils. Giving ourselves the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind. And then without judgment or frustration to lift our awareness up from those distractions and to place it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, take a moment to generate a broad and altruistic motivation for our time. And begin to contemplate on the nature of our own mind. It's but a potential which is derived simply from its nature of clarity and awareness, a nature that is not fixed. We may have a certain personality, certain tendencies, certain habits, certain predispositions, but the mind itself is simply clarity and awareness, free of those seeming constraints. As such, the mind is trainable, transformable. The mind moves in the direction of our intentional efforts. And so, given that we have this incredible opportunity to plant seeds of virtue in the mind, to uproot seeds of non virtue from the mind, and given that we have an actual responsibility, given that so many sentient beings lack the freedom to choose to train their mind in such a way, thinking of how incredibly fortunate we are in this life, we set the motivation to intentionally engage in that process, planting new seeds of virtue for the benefit not only of ourselves, but also for others. And then if we think of the ultimate point of the Buddhist teachings, it is to allow every sentient being to obtain their birthright of genuine happiness, complete freedom from suffering. And one of the reasons that sentient beings do suffer is grasping at permanence when the nature of things are impermanent. It is not the impermanence itself that causes suffering, but wishing it to be permanent, feeling as though one needs it to be permanent. So, overcoming that habit of grasping at permanence is one way in which we can reduce our own suffering. So, bring to mind your physical body, thinking of its many different parts, innumerable parts, and probe them with your awareness. Your arms, your legs, your head, skin, bones, nerves, muscles, organs, their substance, their texture, their shape, their size. Try to gain some understanding of the symphony at work in the body, the interdependent relationships between the breath and the heart, and digestion, electromagnetic impulses. Try to think of the body at its most subtle. The atoms, the molecules, the subatomic particles. These infinitesimally small units of matter that are coming into being, abiding and disintegrating moment by moment. Try to get in touch with the body as completely dynamic, never the same in any two moments. And turn your attention to the mind. Recognize that it also has many aspects: thoughts, perceptions, feelings, memories, images, emotions, one flowing after the other, ceaselessly. Observe this ever changing river of mental events. we think of my body and my mind both as one monolithic thing. But get in touch with how the body and the mind are simply composed of innumerable different aspects, which are constantly in flux. And then allow your awareness to travel outward, thinking of your immediate surroundings, the objects in your room, your home, and think how they too seem solid, unchanging, and yet they too are composed of particles that are constantly in flux. The table, the chair of yesterday and today are not the same. And move your awareness out even further, thinking of all of the living things and inanimate things in the world. All of these things are composed themselves of particles, constantly changing. No two moments in the continuity of anything being the same. If you can give rise to an insight on the ever changing nature of all phenomena on the basis of this analysis, then rest your mind in it without distraction. And then begin to recognize that when we come into contact with something pleasant, something enjoyable, we naturally want to stay with that experience. And so the mind wants to grasp at it as permanent. And when we come into contact with something unpleasant, something difficult, we find it intolerable. And it too appears as though it will always be, in our experience, solid, permanent. And yet, the nature of all of those pleasant objects, experiences, the nature of all of those difficult, unpleasant objects, experiences, is impermanence. And pleasant objects lack the capacity for true happiness due to their impermanent nature and the unpleasant objects lack the ability to truly harm because of their impermanent nature. So it's counterproductive, unnecessary to engage through the lens of attachment and aversion, which are empowered by the false view of permanence. Since everything is dynamic, and try to work with attachment and aversion in this way. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together and we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in your mind, and think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Thinking strongly when this positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment so that I might work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles to the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you. Good to see you, Lou.